Hello and welcome to the Daily News Simplified, an answer to what, why and how of newspaper reading. Today, we are going to discuss various important issues appearing in the Delhi edition of the Hindu newspaper dated 10th July 2019. The news to be covered are given on the screen and corresponding timestamps can be found in description as well as comment section below. Now let us begin with our today's discussion. So here we have a news item appearing on page number 9 which reads Honor for Plan B to help save jumbos. Well, the news item relates to saving wild elephants who venture into the path of trains which lead to fatal accidents. Well, this news item would relate to preliminary exam under environmental ecology and biodiversity. It's also important from means perspective under General Studies paper 3 under science and technology, developments and the application in everyday life as well as environmental conservation. Now let's have a look at various dimensions involved here. Well, the system Plan B has been developed by Northeast Frontier Railway. It has recently won Best Innovation Award, which is awarded by Indian Railways. Now let's have a look. What exactly is this Plan B? It is a system which has been designed to generate an amplified sound of honeybee, which is audible from a distance of around 600 to 700 meters. As elephants are afraid of honeybees, especially of being stung on their sensitive trunk, they stay away from the railway tracks. Hence, this prevents them from coming near the hazardous railway track and being killed. The best part about this device is that it is very cost effective and each device is worth rupees 2000 rupee. One more thing which is important from your preliminary exam is the first such device has been installed near Guwahati railway station in Assam. Well, what makes such an initiative most important is that a number of cases have been reported from several parts of country where elephants have collided with trains at various railway crossings. According to Wildlife Trust of India, the train collisions have killed around 266 elephants between 1987 and 2017. The collision basically happen in areas where there is high population of elephants such as elephant corridors. There are many spots where railway tracks cross such elephant corridors. These are the areas where many innocent elephants lose their lives. Before the adoption of this Plan B, there have been other initiatives like use of sensors. They were mounted near the tracks which would alert officers if the elephants would come nearby. And then officers were dispatched to the location to chase away elephants. However, this method of using sensors was not very successful as it also involved threat to the life of such officers. Other than that, methods such as fencing have also been adopted. However, it was not a very successful experiment because of the sheer power elephants have. It is only with the adoption of this new innovative technology, Plan B, a number of elephants have been saved. Well, this news item is indicating towards a theme which can be called relation between technology and wildlife conservation. Let's have a look at other such examples which fall under this theme which may be important from your mains examination point of view. In this context, the most important one is M-Stripes. It refers to monitoring system for tigers, intensive protection and ecological status. Well, this was launched by National Tiger Conservation Authority in the year 2010 and is basically a software-based monitoring system which was initially launched across Indian tiger reserves. However, now it has been extended beyond these tiger reserves. It basically enhances the patrolling as well as surveillance capability of various forest guards who are equipped with devices which include GPS device as well as personal digital assistant device. These devices help them to capture data relating to tiger sightings, deaths, various wildlife crimes committed by poachers and ecological observations while patrolling, and hence it ultimately enhances overall surveillance over these areas and tigers. Other than M-Stripes, we have got E.I.A. Well, again, it is a monitoring system which is capable of providing live feed related to wild surveillance. And what it does is basically collect and interpret various data which is related to wildlife and human presence within vulnerable area. It is after the analysis of such data, it alerts law enforcement agencies even before the violation occurs. For example, if this is a vulnerable area and here we have got a tiger, this is a perimeter. The moment any suspicious human presence is detected inside this perimeter area, it would alert the law enforcement agencies. And that is how preemptive measures can be taken by various law enforcement agencies. Well, such technologies can be used not only in the case of tiger but also for other animals such as rhinos, lions, etc. Well, this question appeared in the preliminary examination of the year 2017, which reads, the term M stripes is sometimes seen in the news in the context of, and the options are, captive breeding of wildlife fauna, which is wrong. Second is maintenance of tiger reserves, which is right. Hence the answer is B, that is maintenance of tiger reserves. So now this shows the importance of this topic for your preliminary examination. However, from the mains perspective, you can get a question like, what is the utility of tech innovations in wildlife conservation? In such question, you have to mention various technologies which we have discussed, like the one in the news which is Plan B, and other than that, we have discussed M stripes and E.I.A. So now we have seen the utility of this topic from both prelims as well as mains examinations perspective. On this note, let's move to the next news item. So here we have a news item which appears on page number 8 and reads, DRDO gets clearance for missile test facility in Andhra Pradesh. Well, this news item relates to current events of national and international importance under preliminary examination, as well as General Studies Paper 3 mains under Environmental Impact Assessment. Hence, both the dimensions in this news are very important from our examinations point of view. Well, at present, the main integrated test facility is located at APJ Abdul Kalam Island, which was formerly known as Wheeler Island. It is located in Bhadrak district of Odisha. Well, it is this island which is in news frequently for the launch of various missiles which include Prithvi, Agni, BrahMos, etc. One more thing which you should have in mind is, it is the Gahir Matha Marine Sanctuary which is located near this test facility. It is mainly known for its olive ridley turtles, and it is this test facility which proved to be quite disastrous for breeding of these olive ridley turtles. And now this new test facility which is going to be in the Krishna district is located here. Like Garya Mata was present over here, in the similar way Krishna Wildlife Sanctuary is also present here. Since this project is of strategic importance, that is why the clearance has been provided to this project. In the similar way, a long range test facility has been cleared at Rutland Island of South Andaman, and it is near this area that Mahatma Gandhi Marine National Park is located. So now we can see all these three facilities. One is already in existence, that is APJ Abdul Kalam Island, and the second one is proposed in Krishna district of Andhra Pradesh, and the third one is proposed in Rutland Island of South Andaman. In all these three facilities, we can see important environmental assets of the nation are located. On one hand, we have got Garya Matha. Second, we have got Krishna Wildlife Sanctuary. And in the third, we have got Mahatma Gandhi Marine National Park. Now we'll also have a look at important clause in environmental impact assessment notification which comes into play when the project is of strategic requirement or national importance. In any project which is related to environmental clearance, public participation is of immense importance and forms the core of environmental impact assessment. The main component of public participation is public consultation process. And it is this public consultation process which mainly comprises of public hearing. Its main aim is to take on board various concerns of people. Moreover, this public hearing has to be held on the project site or its close proximity. As you can see, this public participation in the form of public consultation process, which is held in the form of public hearing, is very important if seen from environmental impact assessment point of view. At the same time, it makes sure that various stakeholders have their say in various projects. However, as we have discussed, these missile testing range, one in Andhra Pradesh, that is Krishna district, and the another one in Rutland Island of Andaman and Nicobar, are of strategic requirement and national importance, and it is as per Environmental Impact Assessment Notification of the year 2016. These are exempted from this process of public hearing. Hence, no public hearing is required when such projects are given approval. So now you know what are the exemptions to this clause of public hearing of environmental impact assessment. At the same time, it also shows the importance given to defense establishments in the country. On this note, we move to the next topic. Well, here we have an article which appears on page number 10 and reads More appeasement than justice. The article is mainly based on various concerns which the author has raised with respect to the recent reservation provided, especially to Maratha community, of 16% in various postgraduate courses in medical as well as dental. Well, according to the author, the reservation is not based on reasonable classification. The article is related to the topics of Indian Constitution, various significant provisions, as well as mechanism and laws for betterment of vulnerable sections, which falls under General Studies Paper 2 of Mains Examination. So now we'll have a look at various dimensions highlighted by the author in the article. So before moving ahead with our discussion, let's have a look at these two very important provisions from Indian Constitution in the form of Article 14 and Article 15. It's Article 14 which provides for equality before law and equal protection of law. Where equality before law means that no person is above law and at the same time equal subjection of all persons to ordinary law of land. At the same time, equal protection of law is related to equality among equals. In simple words, equality of treatment under equal circumstances. Well, it can be said that reservation provided to various communities is based on this equal protection of laws. So now, let's come to Article 15. There has been a lot of discussion over this article because of a recent movie which shared the same name. Under clause 4 of this article, it is said that state can make any special provision for advancement of any socially and educationally backward class of citizens or for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. So now since we have a clarity over Article 14 as well as Article 15, we can go ahead with our discussion. Well, the article highlights how the reservation has been provided to politically dominant castes who are not even socially or educationally backward, which include Gujars in Rajasthan, Patidars in Gujarat, Marathas in Maharashtra, and the recent move by the UP government in which 17 categories from OBC were moved to SC. Now let's have a look at various issues associated with this Maratha reservation. Well, the very first issue is that it is an influential and politically dominant community. Moreover, it has not faced any systemic social discrimination or exclusion as prescribed under the Article 15 Clause 4. Hence, it cannot be provided any sort of reservation. Second and the most important one is Mandal Commission and even two state backward class commissions which were Khatri Commission of 1995 and Bapat Commission of 2008, where Mandal Commission identified Marathas as forward community. On the other hand, Khatri and Bapat Commission recommended not to include Marathas within OBC category. Moreover, Marathas already have a share of 19.5% in government jobs. Hence, they do not satisfy this constitutional requirement of inadequacy of representation. The main argument which has been given by the author is that Marathas are on par with the other forward castes and hence singling them out would not amount to justice and it would amount more towards appeasement. It can also be linked to the vote bank politics in the state of Maharashtra. Very interesting point to be noted here is that Jat reservation was also struck down by the court because only one caste was favored, that is Jats. One more dimension which has to be kept in mind here is 50% cap which has been provided by Indra Sani judgment. So now this judgment said that the overall reservation cannot breach this 50% cap. And it is here by giving this reservation to the Marathas, this 50% cap is being breached. So now these are the various dimensions which have been highlighted by the author in this. Some other dimensions related to this reservation have also been covered in the yesterday's DNS dated 9th July 2019, which can be referred in order to have this comprehensive overview. On this note, let's move to the next news item. So here we have the lead article from page number 10, which reads The Growing Power of the Lumpen. Well, the article relates to increased incidence of mob violence in the society and it's important under General Studies Paper 1 of Mains Examination under topics Salient Features of Indian Society and Social Empowerment and Communalism. Well, it was the case of Tehseen Poonawalla versus Union of India in the year 2018, that Supreme Court provided for preventive, remedial as well as punitive measures and asked the Parliament to legislate a separate offence and provide adequate punishment for lynching. So now we'll have a look at these preventive, remedial as well as punitive measures which have been provided in this famous Tehseen Poonawalla versus Union of India case of 2018. Let's first start with various preventive measures. So now the first one is there has to be a nodal officer in each district which has to be designated by state government, and he should be not below the rank of superintendent of police. At the same time, this nodal officer will make efforts to eradicate any hostile environment against any community. Next point is constitution of a special task force. Its main task would be intelligence gathering regarding people who are likely to commit such offence, which include spreading hate speech, fake news or any provocative statement which can lead to this mob lynching. Next we have identification of various areas where such instances have been reported in past. Hence such areas can be kept on radar so as to prevent any such incident in future. At the same time, the next step involves sensitization of law enforcement agencies by involving all stakeholders to identify the measures for prevention of such mob violence. Well, in this regard, Home Ministry and Home Department of the state government can collaborate and come together for effective implementation of this point. Last but not the least is use of mass media. Well, the central government and state government can broadcast on radio as well as television that lynching and mob violence of any kind shall invite serious consequences under law. Hence, various provisions of law can act as deterrent which would prevent any such instance from taking place. Now, let's focus on various remedial measures. The very first one include in any incident of mob violence or lynching, police should immediately lodge an FIR and there should not be any delay. Well, the next one is the investigation should be carried out effectively and within the time limit by relevant authorities. Third one relates to the compensation which has to be provided to victims within the 1 month of date of judgment. Next one is any such case shall be tried by fast track courts. Well, what fast track court will do here is fast track court will help the victim to get justice in timely manner. The next one is providing the offender with the maximum sentence which can also prove to be a deterrent in any further cases. Hence, if a person know that he will be provided with the maximum sentence in case he is involved in mob violence or lynching, he may not commit such crime. As we have already discussed in the preventive measure that mass media can play a very effective role here so that people come to know about the maximum sentence which is involved in such an offence and they don't commit such crime. Now we move to punitive measures. So now we come to the punitive measures. Well, the very first one is that in case it is found that police officers or any officer of the district, it can be a nodal officer as we have already discussed, in case they fail to comply with the directions, it shall be considered as an act of deliberate negligence. It can be called misconduct also. Hence, appropriate action must be taken against such officer. Moreover, as per Supreme Court's judgment in the case of Arumugam Servai versus State of Tamil Nadu, all states are directed to take disciplinary action against the concerned officials if it is found that such an official, despite of having a prior knowledge, did not prevent such incident from happening. Moreover, in case such an incident has already happened and such an official does not take a prompt action against the culprits and don't catch them, against such officers again disciplinary action can be taken. So now in the preventive measures, as we have seen that in case any officer failed to comply, and in this judgment also it is said that despite of having prior knowledge or after happening of that incident, if prompt action is not taken, these can be the grounds for disciplinary action. So now we have seen preventive, remedial as well as punitive measures which has been stated in the judgment of Tehseen Poonawalla. Well, one most important dimension here is that on the lines of Supreme Court judgment, State Government of Manipur has recently legislated a separate law which makes lynching a criminal offence. Well, it's a very elaborate law and has defined it both mob and mob lynching. Well, it has defined lynching in a comprehensive way and covers many hate crimes too under the ambit. Well, it covers any act or series of act of violence in which there is aiding, abetting of any act by mob on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or even place of birth. Other than that, language, dietary practice, which is a very important one as it is related to beef angle, sexual orientation related to LGBT rights, political affiliation, ethnicity, or any other related ground. This shows that this act is very broad when it comes to its ambit. Next one is, as per the law, mob means any group of two or more individuals which is assembled with a common intention of lynching. However, the only weakness of the law is that it does not cover any solitary hate crime. That is, in case it is committed by one individual on the other. As by the definition, the mob means group of two or more individuals. So now this law can also be used as a reference by the union government in order to come up with a comprehensive law as asked by Supreme Court. Other than this, there has also been an advisory by Ministry of Home Affairs. Well, according to this advisory, since as per the constitution, police and public order are state subjects, hence state government are responsible for controlling crimes and maintaining law and order and protecting the life and property of citizens. They are also empowered to enact and enforce laws to curb crime in their jurisdiction. As we have already seen, Manipur has come up with such a law. Moreover, the advisory also says that they have to address the issue of lynching by mob, which may be based on the suspicion of child lifting, as has been seen in various news items which have appeared recently, or on disturbance by miscreants in the name of protection of cow. As we've already discussed, in that Manipur law, there was also a category of various dietary practices and it was related to this point. So now, this advisory of Home Ministry can also prove to be a good step in the right direction. With this, let's move to the next news item. So here we have an editorial appearing on page number 10, which reads, Going Electric. Well, this editorial relates to transition from diesel and petrol vehicles to electric vehicles. This topic is important under General Studies paper 3 and is related to the topic of Indian economy and related issues. Well, this issue of transition from internal combustion engine to electric vehicle is one of the top priority of the government, and as we have already talked about in our previous video also, that the FAME scheme phase 1 was launched by the government in 2015 and recently it came up with the phase 2 of FAME scheme. It relates to faster adoption and manufacture of hybrid and electric vehicles. So now the author has come up with the new dimensions which we can highlight over here. We have already talked about the tax deduction of 1.5 lakh which is to be offered on repayment of the loan which is availed for electric vehicles. Other than that, it has highlighted about GST Council's move to cut the tax on e-vehicle to 5% which was earlier 12%. Moreover, it also says that 80% of the electric vehicles which will be sold in India are going to be two-wheelers. Hence, appropriate measures have to be brought in place in order to cater the needs of the people who are going to buy such vehicles. Moreover, the main concern which is related to this transition is about long-range travels. Hence, and for that, author has talked about fast charging stations at parking lots. Other than that, a very innovative idea of battery swapping has been presented. So now, what will happen in battery swapping is, at any convenient location, a pre-charged battery will be swapped with the battery which has been drained, and this can be done especially in the case of commercial vehicles. Reason being, they run longer, plus they need quick turnaround. In order to look at other dimensions which are related to this government's transitions initiative related to this electric vehicles, the DNS video of 6 July 2019 can also be referred. Well, it was here where it was told that FAME India scheme is under the Department of Heavy Ministry, which is under the supervision of Ministry of Heavy Industries and Public Enterprise. Moreover, a mention was made about National Automotive Board, which is the operating agency, and upfront incentives were also mentioned. So now upfront incentives, as already been discussed, are that GST rate cut plus the rebate of 1.5 lakh which has been provided. So now these things have to be kept in mind, and since this is a very ambitious plan of Government of India, a lot of developments will come and they'll be comprehensively covered. Here we have a news item which appears on page number 11 and is titled The Malaise of Malnutrition. Well, this article paints a picture of hunger and malnutrition amongst children in large pockets of India and is related to a food nutrition security analysis report. It was in the DNS dated 26 June 2019 that a similar analysis was covered, which can be referred in order to get a comprehensive idea of this picture. With this, let's move to the practice questions for prelims. So now here you have on screen various prelims questions for practice. Have a look at this question and we'll discuss the answers after a gap of 5 seconds. So now the first question is Plan B, which was in news recently, is related to the conservation of which of the following? First option is rhino, which is incorrect. Tiger is incorrect. Lion is again incorrect. And the right option is elephant. And it has been adopted for the first time in Guwahati. So the next question is, with reference to M stripes, consider the following statements. First statement is, it has recently been released to protect tigers. Well, it is to protect tigers, but it has not been released recently as it was released in the year 2010 by National Tiger Conservation Authority. Hence, this statement is incorrect. The second statement reads, it is restricted to tiger reserves only. Again, it is incorrect as we have already discussed that its scope has been now increased beyond tiger reserves. Hence, the answer is D, that is neither 1 nor 2. The third statement is, Rutland Island is situated in. Well, Lakshadweep is incorrect. The right answer is Andaman and Nicobar. Well, in the discussion of various missile testing range which are going to come in the picture, we discussed about Krishna district in Andhra Pradesh and Rutland Island of Andaman and Nicobar. We also talked about Mahatma Gandhi Marine National Park, which is located in this island, which is located in South Andaman near Port Blair. And the last question is, Tehseen Poonawalla judgment is related to which of the following? Well, it is a very famous judgment as we've already talked about, and it was given by Supreme Court in the year 2018 and is related to this mob violence, that is mob lynching. The right answer would be A. This brings us to the end of today's discussion. Let's move to the question of the day.